kids, those kids.
Welcome to the Panavox channel. My name's Joe.
And I'm Eric. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 bands of all time, according to us. And I've got a certain criteria that I'm using for this. I think Joe has probably got his own way that he went about this. But in order to get to my top 5, I was looking for bands really that met 3 criteria, and that criteria is musicianship and songwriting, quality of songwriting, and also collaboration, to where the band is sort of a collaborative effort between the members and it's not just one person writing all the songs and making all the decisions. So,
Hmm.
you got anything to say about it before we dive into it, Joe?
Yeah, I think that's a great criteria to have to evaluate how how great a band is, how well they work together collaboratively to achieve their creative goals. And like the old saying goes, two heads are better than one. They're greater than the sum of their parts. You have three, four, five, six very talented people get together. Individually, they may be very talented, but when you combine those talents in creative, interactive ways, then you're going to have something magical. So that's kind of what you're looking for, right? That magic of collaboration.
Exactly. Did you have any certain criteria you're using when you came up with your top 5 bands, or were you just kind of going with intuition or whatever?
Yeah, so I thought about coming up with a very systematic, very structured way to come up with this list. Maybe base it on album sales, maybe base it on critical reviews from top music critics, maybe on influence with bands that came afterwards or artists that came afterwards, terms of legacy. There's all these different criteria you can use to
Hmm.
determine, how important a band is. I thought, do I really want to go in that academic type of go with that type of academic approach to really being serious about it? And then I thought, well, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who do that. I thought, why don't I just be really honest with myself about what really floats my boat, so to speak, to find that je ne sais quoi quality, which in French means I don't know what quality, that thing that's hard to
Yep.
define.
Yeah.
And so my criteria is just essentially, did this band fill me with an abiding sense of joy, happiness, and transcendent bliss? And
Right.
so I
Right.
decided to go with that. And so I don't know how objective my list is, but it works for me. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to be super scientific with mine either. I was just basically going with some of my favorite bands according to the criteria that I had.
Right.
But should we dive right in, or I think that's enough preambling
Mhm.
probably for our viewers.
Well,
So
what?
something tells me, what were you gonna say?
Oh, no, nothing. You said something tells me.
Okay. Something tells me we should go ahead and get into these top 5 bands of all time according to Eric and Joe.
Let's do it.
And we'll skip the drum roll this time. And my top 5 is maybe kind of an unusual choice, but I went with Grand Funk Railroad
Number five.
because, yeah, number 5
Okay, Grand
is
Funk Railroad.
Grand Funk Railroad. And I used to hear some of Grand Funk songs on the radio when I was a kid growing up, and I kind of just took them for granted, you know. And just recently, just a few years ago, I started digging a little deeper into their discography. And they had some of their like early music, their first few albums, they just had this really hard rocking sound on a lot of their songs, and they were pretty intense, you know. And they were really good musicians. Um, the lead singer was also I think Mark Farner, I think was his name.
Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, yeah, that's
The
it.
lead singer, he was also a really good lead guitarist, and the drummer was also a really good singer.
Yeah.
And they were back before Van Halen and Nirvana. They were sort of like the first rock power trio, you could say.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and I listened to their live album, which I think came out around 1970, and that thing just blew me away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just the level of musicianship and just the intensity of their music and everything is just pretty amazing. And they don't get a lot of credit from people. They seem to be like almost like a forgotten band in some ways, you know. So
Were
that's
they
my
the
number
band?
five.
Yeah. Were they the band that came up with the song I'm Your Captain? I'm your captain, I'm your
Yeah,
captain.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Grand
I'm
Funk.
getting closer to my home.
Hmm.
That's like
Hmm.
one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. That's a
Yeah,
masterpiece.
and
Yeah.
we're an American band. That was a big
Oh yeah.
hit for them.
Oh yeah.
That was their drummer singing on that song.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, they've had a few um, pretty big hits, and they got some great deep tracks on their albums.
Yeah.
They made a whole bunch of albums, and I'm not really sure what happened to them or why they stopped playing together or
Yeah.
anything. I don't know a lot about their biography, but that's my number five.
All right. Well, there's a interesting link between your number five and my number five, and it's the word funk, because you said Grand Funk Railroad, and the top song from my band has the word funky in it. Can you guess who it is? This was a big hit in the 70s. Drum roll, please. It's play funky music.
Nothing's
Nothing's coming up.
yeah, I can't think of
Play that
anything.
funky music. You remember that song from
Oh
1976
yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
Wild Cherry? Play that
Oh,
funky music, white boy. Remember that
oh
one?
man. Oh, what a
Yeah.
great song.
Wild Cherry.
That
Wild
was a
Cherry is
great,
my
great song.
number five band. And
I'll
they,
give you that. I'll give you that.
they,
Honestly, I haven't heard any of their other music except for that song, but
yeah.
they did a great job on that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know anything about all their other music either, but I just
Uh,
because of that one song, for me, they deserve
okay,
number five
okay.
position because play that funky music. Just it spoke to me because I was a white boy and still am, and every time I was around people that really knew how to be funky, and maybe they weren't white, but they were legitimately funky. And if they were telling the white guy that he could also be funky, and so I could like totally relate to that.
Yeah,
I wanted to
right.
be funky too,
Yeah,
and
it's like
yeah.
an invitation to funkiness.
And then I was really upset when I found out that the guy who sang that was himself actually white. So then it seemed like it was kind of like I don't know. We were inviting ourselves to the party. Maybe that. But anyway, I still
Yeah,
like
well, that was an interesting choice for the number five top band of all time.
I
That's
mean, I feel like Wild Cherry earned a place there in rock and roll history for all time, made them better than so many other bands that people think are so great. But I think that Wild Cherry just, sometimes when you do something that's so incredible like that, you just vault yourself right up there and into the top tier of all rock and roll bands of all time. It all it takes is
I'm
one song.
sure if I'm sure if there's any members of Wild Cherry watching our video, they are very pleased to to get your nomination for the number 5 top band of all time because
Fellas, if you're still around, I know that was like 50 years ago. So some of those guys may no longer be with us, but if any of them are listening to us here, you deserve the number 5 slot. I'm here to give you some credit that you really deserve. So, I mean, they deserve it.
okay. Well,
Okay.
are we ready to move on to number 4?
Yeah, yeah. Number 4.
My number 4 is Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh yeah,
I,
that's a great band. Yeah.
I've always loved Blue Oyster Cult, and they got so many great songs and so many great albums, and their whole approach to music is just so unique and different, and they were just super talented musicians, and their singer Eric Bloom, he just has such a great stage presence, and they're just great. What can I say about Blue Oyster Cult?
Well,
I'm just
they're the ones that came up with the "Don't Fear the Reaper," which is made famous by the Saturday Night Live sketch "More Cowbell." So, uh,
yeah. Well, it, that song, in all fairness, was already famous before the set. That was one of their biggest songs they ever had. That
it's a
was that
great
was getting all
song.
kinds of airplay in the '70s. But
And then they have the
I guess
Godzilla song.
that's why SNL was making fun of it because.
It was so.
But yeah, the SNL thing was not really factually accurate completely.
No,
It's like they had I think Bruce Dickinson as their producer or something,
no.
which never happened. And
No.
they did not have a dedicated cowbell player. That was the drummer was adding the percussion after the fact. But yeah, I don't know if I should go into the whole story of how I started liking Blue Oyster Cult and all that. Or we could say Blue Oyster Cult for another episode maybe. But they've got some great albums, some great music, and they don't get mentioned a lot. So that's why I think they belong in the top 5 bands of all time.
I went to a concert in Birmingham, Alabama I believe in 1985 or 80, no, it was 86. I'm sorry, it would have been 1986. And it was Van Halen was the headlining act, and Blue Oyster Cult opened for Van Halen, and that was in
When was that?
1986 at the
1986. Okay.
yeah, and it was in the downtown area where Van Halen headlined and Blue Oyster Cult opened for them, and that was a fantastic concert. I mean, Van Halen was incredible, of course, but Blue Oyster Cult really blew me away, and I love the way they did Godzilla. That was like I think the first time that I really appreciated hearing Godzilla, and I mean, I heard it on radio and records before. When I heard it live, though, it just blew me away the way they did Godzilla.
Wow, man. I'm
Really
a little
amazing.
bit jealous that you got to see him live. I've never seen him live. I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't. I was not really big into seeing a lot of live shows
Yeah.
when I was younger, and so I'm not one of those people that's seen every band live, but I wish I had seen Blue Oyster Cult live.
Yeah,
But
yeah, amazing
that's
band.
great that you got to see it.
Yeah. So is it time for my number 4?
It is time for your number 4.
Okay, so my number 4 is a band that I get starry-eyed when I think about them because they are the Starland Vocal Band. Starland Vocal Band.
Oh,
And they're an
wow.
amazing band from the 70s, Starland Vocal Band. And you may know them because of their incredible pop gem, Afternoon Delight. Sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight. Yeah. Afternoon delight. And it's like everybody who likes to um, you know, um, um, in the afternoon, I guess. That's like their anthem, right? So,
Everyone that likes to shoot rockets, is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's right. Everybody who likes to do fireworks in the
Well,
afternoon.
tomorrow's 4th of July, so that song fits right in with, of course, this won't be posted till after 4th of July, but close enough, I guess.
The thing that gets me about that song, though, is if they're trying to celebrate the 4th of July, don't you usually wait until the sun sets so you can see the fireworks better? But they're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
they
yeah.
just can't wait. They're going to have to launch those things during the
Maybe,
afternoon.
maybe,
I don't know what the deal is.
maybe they have to test out their fireworks and
Oh,
make sure
right, right.
they're going to work, and
Oh,
then
that's right. Yeah.
and
You
then
don't use it,
later.
you lose it, right? As they say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't use those fireworks, they're going to expire and you're never going to be able
That's
to,
true.
to
That's
launch them,
true.
right? So,
Yeah.
and by the way, this is not
Well,
an
that's a
ex
great choice. That's a great
yeah,
choice.
that was not an extended metaphor. We were just being very literal right there, weren't we? For sure.
Did they ever have another song on the radio besides Afternoon Delight?
Um, yeah, they had a couple of other songs that were like in the top, 500 or something, like around
Yeah.
somewhere between 450 and 500 on the Billboard
Yeah.
chart. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there was this one that they had called something something so and so that had beautiful harmonies, vocals, and
Uh,
acoustic guitar, and there's even a melt.
uh,
Yeah, I can't.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good
I
one.
think
Yeah,
I
it
remember that.
charted around, what was it, 425, I think. So it cracked the 450 mark in the top 500. But yeah, yep. So that, I mean, but again,
Okay.
this was an incredible song by Starland Vocal Band, fourth greatest band of all time for me. Yep.
All
You
right. Well,
you don't have
this is
you
an
don't have
interesting choice. I'm kind of interested to hear what your other choices are going to be.
well, no.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we ready for number three now?
Yeah, number three.
My number three is Chicago.
Oh yeah,
And
Chicago. Yeah.
everyone that knows me knows I'm a huge Chicago fan. And we did a whole video about Chicago last year, I think. But yeah, I love Chicago. I think all of their albums up until Hot Streets were pretty good,
Mhm.
Uh, some people say their later stuff is no good and they got too commercial and too middle of the road and stuff. And I kind of agree with that. Like some of their 80s music would not rather not listen to, but they had some great songs. They were absolutely great musicians. They were one of the last bands that had like a dedicated horn section, and you had some Robert Lamb, the piano player, the keyboard player. He wrote a lot of great songs for the band. I think some of the other members wrote songs for him too, like Terry Kath and Pete Satira. And there's just so much talent in that band, and they don't get much credit really. But those first three Chicago double albums, those will make you into a true believer if you don't see what the big deal is about Chicago. Just listen to their first three albums, and then hopefully you'll understand. But I think they are definitely the third greatest band of all time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like Chicago is kind of overrated personally, you know. I mean,
No way, dude. No
yeah, I
way.
mean, I don't want to burst your bubble there, but I mean, they're not really on the same level as Wild Cherry or Starland Vocal Band. You know, they had a couple of bright spots. You know, there was you know, some of the music that came out in the late
We'll
90s.
have to agree to disagree because
Yeah, I just
I'm a peaceful person.
yeah.
Chicago wrote songs about being peaceful and so I'm gonna stay true to the spirit of Chicago and just say you have a right to your opinion, and for that reason I'm not gonna come to your house and beat you up for saying that they're overrated.
Well,
Not
well,
today, anyway.
you know, I mean, anybody can pick up a horn and go, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, come on, man. I mean, were they going to be a rock band or were they going to be like, you know, playing at a birthday party at some, you know, what is it, fire engine house for the firemen? Or, I mean, to me, come on, man. This is like, I don't know, man. And
I
then,
know you like Chicago. Come on.
yeah, yeah, kind of.
Everybody knows you like Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like, you know, that there were maybe other bands that are just better.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
you know,
let's see if your top three tops my top three.
okay, okay, all right. Yeah. Now we're gonna be civil with each other. There's no reason
Yeah,
to get
we don't have to.
yeah.
This doesn't have to end our friendship.
No, 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 no. It's all good. It's all good. Well, so
Yeah.
here's my number three, which I'm sure you're going to agree is an amazing, incredible band that has and here's the proof of it. Even to this day, people remember these guys, and they one particular song they came up with, we'll never forget it. It will live in our hearts for all time. Oh, come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear at this moment you mean everything.
Oh,
Dexy's Midnight
Dick.
Runners. I mean, what would the
Yeah,
80s be
yeah,
without Dexy's Midnight Runners? What an incredible band. And they were rocking the blue jean overalls. Remember that? Come on, Eileen. And that
yeah.
TV
I
video.
remember.
Yeah, Dexy's Midnight Runners, man. I mean,
Well,
like,
I could never really get into that song, but that's totally cool if that's what you were into, man. I'm not gonna question that at all. I'm just gonna say,
I mean, listen, man, listen, let's be honest, okay? They are the greatest band, at least of the 1980s, possibly of, you know, the 20th century. Dexy's Midnight Runners, man.
or at least the third greatest.
No, the greatest. Dexy's Midnight Runners, because I mean, that
Well,
song was on what?
we're only on number three. They can't be the greatest.
I said of the 80s and of the
Okay,
20th
okay,
century.
and maybe the 20th century, but
Well, I take
there's still two bands that beat Dexys
except for
Midnight
the
Run.
except for the two that I have that are better than them, which I'll get to
I
later.
wonder why's the guy's names is who's Dexy and where'd they get their names? Like, because I remember they had these diet pills they used to make called Dexatrim.
Yeah.
So I wonder if those guys were like popping Dexatrims or something.
Well, actually, I have that information, but I'm not allowed to disclose it. So,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
top secret. You know, I have access to classified, highly classified information that I'm not allowed to disclose. But
Okay,
I'll just
okay.
tell you that the name Dexys was actually, I'll tell you this much. The name Dexys was actually a code that was used to transmit information to a triple Soviet spy at that time.
Oh,
Right.
triple spy.
Right. And so the whole song, Come On Eileen, is a coded message that actually saved the world from nuclear destruction.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's an interesting story. Maybe you can tell that story in another episode.
Well, I've said too much. I wasn't even allowed to disclose that
Okay, okay.
information.
I don't want to get you in trouble, man.
No, no, that's okay. It's okay. But what's your number? So you already gave your number three. You're on to your number two, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My number two, maybe kind of an obvious pick, but I've got Led Zeppelin, the
Oh yeah.
legendary Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, yeah. Led Zeppelin. Totally overrated.
And
Totally overrated band. But go ahead. Go
what
ahead.
more do I need what more do I need to say about Led Zeppelin, man? I mean, uh great bands, made some amazing albums, amazing musicians, amazing songwriters, amazing performers. They just had like a one of a kind sound. Um, it's hard to even know what to say about Led Zeppelin because they're so great. But I've got them at my number two greatest band of all time.
Yep. Yeah, I guess you do.
But you think they're overrated?
I mean, when they went up to Pete Townsend, I think it was Roger Daltrey, or was it one of the members of the Who, uh, Entwistle, or was it the drummer Keith Moon? I don't know, but I think it was Keith Moon, and they said he said we're going to call our band. He said we're gonna do a real heavy blues rock band, and he said I think it'll go over like a lead balloon. And then Jimmy Page says, yeah, that's what we'll call it. Lead balloon, Led Zeppelin. That's kind of where the name came from. Uh,
Exactly, yeah.
they spelled LED because if you put LEED, he's afraid they would call it Lead Zeppelin, and that wouldn't really make any sense. But um, so they changed the spelling to make sure people would pronounce it right. It's an interesting little detail. But yeah, my thing is, I think that Keith Moon, if that's who it was right. It did go over like a lead balloon, and Rolling Stone panned them initially, skewered their work, said it was derivative, it was crap, it was, they were just really and I never I mean I was a little baby boy when that review came out in '68, I guess, but that's kind of how I look at Zeppelin. I mean, what was Robert Plant doing? Showing his chest and all that stuff and all that. I mean, I don't know. And Jimmy Page always did his lips like this, so I was like, he was playing the guitar and all that kind of stuff. And then
That's what makes them great, man.
yeah, and what was
There's
it?
nothing about Led
Oh
Zeppelin that's
yeah, oh yeah, all that stuff.
all those little details just add to their greatness.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, I'm sorry, but I think that Wild Cherry, Starland Vocal Band, and Dexy's Midnight Runners are just better than Zeppelin. But you do you.
I am doing me.
Okay, yeah. Because you see, I'm easy to get along with. I'm live and let live. That's me. That's my attitude. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's hear what you got at number two.
Oh, I got something that's much better than Zeppelin at number two. On a totally different level. Let me
Yeah,
tell
all
you.
right.
And, it's this incredible band, British, also a British band like Zeppelin, but they had class, they had style, and they really knew how to talk to the ladies. They really did. Because listen, you got Robert Plant saying, you need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling. I mean, how many women are gonna hear that and go, yeah. I mean, zero. Okay, but listen, what if you said, you're too shy, shy, hush, hush, eye to eye. And especially if you got the poofy hairdo and the '80s flashy clothes and stuff, and the girls were going, wow, for Kaja Gugu. Kaja Gugu, man, that's my
Oh,
number two. Kaja Gugu knew how to talk to the ladies, and the girls were going wild for Kaja Gugu back in the 1980s. And so, I mean, that's it, man. That's it. Kajagoogoo, they knew what appealed to the feminine heart and they sung it and they made it work and they were on MTV and they had their hair dyed and they had their incredible looking flashy clothes and everybody was like, "Wah!" So it was an incredible accomplishment. Second greatest band of all time. See, like I said, that's my je ne sais quoi. I've got it in there, right?
Well, if
What
that's what floats your boat, man, that's more power to you, brother. More
what
power to you.
you don't agree with that? What you think I'm off? Is that what you're trying to say?
I just didn't get that song. Uh, I just,
Oh, come on,
I don't
man.
know. I don't
Come
know.
on, man. Kajagoogoo, man. Too shy is like one of the greatest songs of all time.
I mean, I guess it's all right, you know.
If
I,
you are
I,
going to be
I think it's
sitting
a little
out
overrated myself.
If you're sitting out by the swimming pool with some great looking girls, right? I mean, assuming that you're single and it's 40 years ago, right? And do you want to put on a whole lot of love or do you want to put on Kaja Gugu with the girls that you're with at next to the swimming pool in the 1980s? You're going to want to put on Kaja Gugu if you're going to.
Well, I don't know. You might have a point with that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
You might
saying.
have
I
a
mean,
point.
I have a practical focus to my top, top five list. That you have to get results with it.
Okay.
That's like a
I
result.
I understand when you frame it like that, you know,
Thank you.
it
Thank
makes
you.
more sense.
Thank
Makes
you so
more
much.
sense.
Well, on to your number one, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, my number one is Genesis.
Oh,
Genesis.
Genesis.
So much talent packed into one band, man.
Yeah.
You had Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins playing in the same band, and they both went on to be just huge superstars in the 80s.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think Mike Rutherford, he had a little bit of commercial success in the 80s too. Steve Hackett had pretty amazing solo career. Probably one of the most underrated music artists of all time. And Tony Banks, just a great virtuoso keyboardist, like one of the best ever. Is just amazing that they had so much talent in one band. And they started off just sort of cutting edge, weird progressive rock, and then they somehow managed to have uh, a huge commercial success later in the 80s. You know, just the combination of just musicianship, songwriting ability, and just the whole collaborative nature of their band. To me, they got to be number one.
The greatest thing about Genesis in those early years when Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel was still, working together was when Peter Gabriel put on his headset or whatever that thing was with that went up like that, and he had these incredible costumes. And if you could share a picture of him in one of his incredible costumes, the way he did his makeup and his it was an incredible visual performance. And um, I mean, I think that Genesis deserves a place of distinction just because of their stagecraft in the early 70s was just really amazing. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning your way about that. Now, as for the music, though, it was very complicated, odd time signatures, the earlier stuff, right? Really complex songs with lots of different parts in them. Phil Collins's drumming was um, just incredibly complex. So they were a real virtuoso band. Uh, incredible band, but not as good as my number one pick. Not even
Uh-oh.
in the same league.
Oh
Not even in
no.
the same league.
I
Sorry.
I have no idea what your number one could be.
Well, my number one is, I think, the greatest British band, and probably the greatest band of any nation to ever record popular music. And it's a tragedy, it's a crisis. It's very sad because they appeared on the scene very briefly in the early 80s, and after that we never heard from them again. And why, I don't know, because they sang about family and community, but particularly about family, and they sang about their house in the song called Our House in the Middle of a Street. Our house is a castle and a king. Da 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 da. Da, 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 and a mess is not allowed. That's like the greatest song ever written about a family of
They
all
were
time
pretty
because
they
it
were
has
pretty
all
good.
it has
Yeah,
all the
Madness was pretty good. I have to
madness.
admit.
Yeah,
And then they had
madness.
the one step beyond with the crazy sky rhythms and the yeah, that was good. That was good
I
stuff.
felt I don't
Madness was
know
cool. Yeah.
what happened to Madness though, because Madness, when they came out there, they were like, "Oh, it's Madness," and they're singing about everyday life and everyday people, and it's relatable and it's catchy, and it's like I was waiting for them to like go on with more and more great songs like Our House, and it just didn't happen. And what happened to Madness? Did
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, a lot of those 80s bands just disappeared all of a sudden, like you'd hear two songs from them on MTV or whatever, and then they're just gone forever.
So that was a conspiracy. I think that Madness was so great that somebody at the top of the chain said that they're too good and they could change music forever, and somehow that would liberate all of us from the chains of, I don't know, the dark evil lords that control us, behind the black velvet curtains. And
Yeah.
they had to put a stop to it. They had to stop it. But there's that gem of an album that came out, and that gem of a single, Our House, that came out, and it will live on for all time as, I think, the greatest song ever written. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, do you think the house was that literally in the middle of the street? Like,
Yeah, it
and
was in the
if
middle.
so, wouldn't that cause problems for people trying to drive up and down the street?
Well, they just had to go around it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't see that.
Ooh.
It's kind of obvious, but
Yeah, yeah.
well, I mean, it's
But
okay.
I guess they didn't mind living in the middle of the street and they wrote a song about it. So
I think it's pretty common in Great Britain to have a house in the middle of the street, actually.
okay,
I don't know
okay.
why. I mean,
Is that
you're
one of those
just,
roundabout things? Is that what that is?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they have plenty of houses in the center of these roundabouts. I mean, you didn't know that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, didn't they have a national, was it a special on that about how all these British people live in these houses in the roundabouts in the center?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe you didn't see that documentary. I don't
Something
know.
like that
Yeah,
or
yeah. I mean,
something.
I think the British even have an expression like something like, well, you think I live in the middle of the street in a house, and it's kind of like just something that British people say to each other. But I guess you're not familiar with that lingo, so maybe you wouldn't know.
Okay, guys, those are our top five greatest bands of all time. So let us know
Yes.
what you think in the comments.
Yes, yes. I'm sure you'll agree that my list is better than Eric's, but you're entitled to think his is better than mine if you like, although you'll be wrong, but you could say that if you like.